Okay, so now it is time for some science. And I'm sitting in a different location because I want to show you something special. But first of all, I want to talk about what we have done the last week and what we're going to do now. So, we have talked about living and about non-living things. Do you remember when something is a living thing? What are the elements that those things need? Or how can you see that something is a living thing? And how can you see if something is a non-living thing? Do you remember? I hope so. I at least, have done an experiment with a bean. Do you remember that last week I had this plastic bag and I put a bean and some water, and that we are going to draw the process of this bean? Well, I hope that you've planted a bean as well. And if not, you can still do it or you can just watch mine. But I wanted to show you what happened to this bean. Look. Can you see it? So, wait, let me put the camera a bit closer. It's very wet inside because of the condense. But my bean has grown a lot. Last week I've planted the bean. Now it's already a small plant. You see it? And you can see the roots. Look. So the beans have opened and the roots started to come out. I found a video that I wanted to show you that shows the process of this bean. Look. Do you see that the roots come out very quickly? This happens in a few days. Can you imagine? And it's also what happened to my bean. Whoa. You see the process? It's going very fast. And there it comes. Wow. I will send the video to you so that you can see it better at home, because I realize it's not so clear, but I'm sorry about that. I cannot help that. I'll put it here so you can see it. So now what we have to do is we have to draw the bean, because remember that I've sent you the bean diary. So I think that you've already made the first page and that you've colored it and everything. But now we have to draw the process of the bean. So that is what I am going to do as well. So I've brought some pencils, some colored pencils, and some paint. Because I like to do it with paint, but you can choose whatever you want. You can use normal pencils, you can use something else. Be creative and color your bean, or draw your bean, because we have to see how the bean is changing every week. This orange thing here is because I put it on the window. And yesterday the leaf was very green. And today I realized that it was like a bit almost dry, a bit brown. And that was because this bag was closed. So I've closed this bag, put it on the window, and lots of sun entered. So this bag was very, very hot. And I think that the plant doesn't like that so much. So I've opened the bag so that some air can enter, so that the plant can breathe a little bit. And I'm going to put it in another place with less sun. So probably where there is sun only in the morning, when the sun is not so hot. I don't know, I'm gonna try something. That's why it is an experiment. Okay? And until now only one bean is completely open. So the other ones also will start, but they need a little more time. So I'm going to draw the bean that already started to grow. Can you see it? It's a bit difficult to put the back in a place where you can see it as well, but I'm going to draw it. So first of all, let me see which colors I will need. I think that I need some brown because, well, the stem of this plant is kind of brownish. I'm gonna start with brown, yeah? See the colors? So now you can do the same at home, eh? You can grab your pencils, you can grab your bean diary, and you can start to draw it. So I'm going to draw the stem. It's a little bit like that. It's not completely straight, because, well, that's not how it works. So it's like this, I think, something like that, right? See, this is the... Looks similar, yeah? Okay, I also need some green because the leaves of this little plant are green. It's like dark green. And they are like here at the top part. Also this little plant has a funny smell. If you have a bean as well, if you've planted a bean or if you did it in a bag or in a jar, smell it. What would that smell be? Do you have an idea what it can be? It's very strong. When I opened this bag, some funny smell came out. Don't know if that's exactly a good thing, but look, now I did it like this. But also I can see some leaves over there. See that? So I have some leaves at the top part, but also in the middle are some leaves. So I'm going to draw those ones as well, but they are not completely green. They are more like, yeah, like a bit brown greenish. So those ones needs to be a little bit darker. Yeah, I think this is good. What do you think? Does it look similar? And of course I have to draw the bean. That is like a little bit gray, so I can mix black with white. Yes, to make it a bit grayish, because I don't have gray. So like this, bit like that. So I have to copy the bean exactly what it looks like. I did it like this. So what do you think about it? Let me try to get the bean out. Maybe you can see better. Ah, yeah, this is better. Look. See it? Do you see the roots of this bean? Forgot those ones to draw, yeah? So look here, you can see the beans as well. They've opened, and then this part started to grow. Strange, yeah? So would this mean, would it be a living thing or a non-living thing? That must be clear now, yeah? Because at first I thought this bean was a non-living thing because it wasn't moving, it wasn't really doing anything. But then it turned out that it was a living thing because it started to grow. But it started to grow in the right environment. Because what if I put the bean without water, just like that? If I leave the bean, for example, in a dark closet, would the bean grow? No. So it depends on the environment of the bean where it can grow. It doesn't grow in all the places. So I'm going to place it back in my bag because I think like this, if I leave it like this, it won't get very happy. So I will place it back in my bag where it has water, and I will leave the bag open so that it has more possibilities to grow. So now it's your turn to draw your bean, or to plant a bean, or to watch the video of the bean to see the process of those beans, and then you can start drawing in your bean diary. Good luck with that. I hope that it's gonna turn out well. Send me a picture when you've done that so that I can see the process of your beans as well, because I'm very curious about seeing that. Okay, I'll be back soon. Bye bye.